All right, welcome everybody. My name is Vishan Borich, and you're in the right place. This is the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central. I'm so glad you're here today because I'm going to be teaching you how you can create your own ebook in a week. I know that may seem like a far-fetched claim, but it really is possible, and I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process today so that you can do that. Sound good? I hope so. So let me give a shout out to those of you that are watching me live. I see quite a few of you out there. I see, is that Stephen Moody? Hey, Stephen, good to see you there. I see Richard Campbell. Nice to see you, buddy. And he's like my regular. I think Richard is my most consistent live attendee. I appreciate you, Richard. Then we've got, oh, Michelle's out there. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. So glad that you all made the live hangout. If you're watching this as a recording, that's fine as well, but I still like to know who watches it. It lets me know that you're getting value from these hangouts, which I host every Monday. So be sure to comment down below. You'll see there's a chat box. Go ahead, comment down below, say hello, let me know that you made it, and I do check those. And as I go through today's presentation, if there's any questions you have or comments, or maybe you know of a resource that I didn't mention on today's Hangout, share them in the chat. That's what this is all about. It's a way for us to connect and to improve our lives as online entrepreneurs. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If I could get a comment in the box that you guys can hear me fine. Sometimes I get going and then I realize that nobody can hear me. So I'll wait here just a minute for that. It's a beautiful day today. I was just outside walking my dogs. I've got two puppies, so if you see them running around, I call them puppies, but they're really a couple years old. But if you see them running around in the background over here, that's because they hang out in my office. They are my office mates. All right, thanks, Richard. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate you giving me the thumbs up that you can hear me. All right, so let's flip my screen around, and we are going to get going. All right, so every time I do these, I typically have a presentation I put together. It just kind of helps me personally to stay on track, and I hope that it helps you too. So if you're taking notes, which I do recommend, I mean, if you really want to get value out of any training that you attend, not just my own, take notes. And the whole idea of note taking is, to write them with your hand, not typing them up, because when you write, it's that motor action that actually helps you retain information. I have heaps and heaps of notebooks that I've collected over the years from classes and courses I've taken. And one of the things that I've learned is that I remember it better when I write it out versus actually typing it up. So go ahead, do that, and we're going to proceed. So let me give you an overview as to what you'll learn today from me in this training. And I like to keep these trainings really concise. I try not to ever go past an hour. So, we're going to move relatively quickly. If you miss something, remember these are recorded, and you can find all the details on this page. The exact same page for the live hangout is where the recording will be. You can go back and rewind and watch it. I will warn you though, my recordings only stay up there for about a week, because the next time that I host a hangout, the one that was there prior is taken down. All right, so why an ebook? That's one of the things we're going to cover. Some of you will be like, well, of course we know why an ebook, but there's a very specific and strategic reason that I use ebooks when I sell and when I do things online versus print books. And we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to teach you a simple strategy to creating a good ebook. I'll tell you how you can quickly get it written so that it doesn't take you years, months, or however long to get that done. And I also will give you a resource and tell you how you can get a really good book cover done, as well as promotion. If you don't know this, your book cover is what helps sell your book. So it's so important that you don't skimp on that and just create your own book cover. You really need to get somebody to assist you with that who knows what they're doing. All right, so why an ebook? Let's start there. An ebook, as you probably are aware, there are millions of people now that own a Kindle device or some kind of a tablet device. So iBook users, for example. And that has become, the norm. If you haven't stepped foot on a college campus recently, I have relatives that are professors in college. They don't carry books around anymore. I don't know if you knew that. They are carrying tablet devices, and that's what they put all their textbooks on and all their reading material. It's so much easier to do that. And also for those of us that aren't in college any longer, or university, then you know that if you love to read and you're a voracious reader, it's really difficult to take hundreds and thousands of books with you if it's a hard copy. It's much easier to do that if you have a digital copy. And also the ease of distribution. If you have an electronic book or ebook, it's so much easier to get that out to somebody to sell it or give it away if it's digital. You don't have to worry about printing, you don't have to worry about printing costs, and etc. And then the other reason I love ebooks is they are great for internet marketing. If you are looking for something we call a freemium or a lead magnet, ebooks are number one. I've tested it with a lot of different things, such as Hangouts, such as this. But every time I give away an ebook, I get a lot of leads. And a lead to me is an email address. And I always ask for their email address before I give them something free, because now I've got somebody on my list and I can start promoting and sending them newsletters and in turn selling them whatever products or services that I have. So if you haven't considered this, I would consider writing an ebook simply for the purpose of giving it away. All right, we're going to talk about that too, on how you can do that quickly and what will make sense. All right, and on the other hand, some of you may want to write an ebook because you want to sell it. Perhaps you have a really great story that's been inside of you for a while and you want to get that out there and sell it. Well, there's a lot of places to publish it. I know one of the most popular is Amazon.com, where you can publish it for Kindle devices. You can also publish it for audio like Audible, and of course print. They'll do it all. Publishing are called pods, online publishing, and pod stands for Publish on Demand. There are many more publish on demand websites out there outside of Amazon. I don't know if you're aware of that, and I included this link right here. It's called booksandtales.com. In fact, I'm going to go there right now. Pull it up. So this is the link, booksandtales.com/pod, P-O-D. And this lists and rates all the different online publishers that are there. Some of them are, the person who wrote this kind of has a sense of humor. So if you see this 2 + 2 = 5, on any of them, it means something doesn't add up. In other words, what they're charging and the royalties and stuff that company has doesn't quite add up when they figured it out. Okay, so you can see through here, there are literally hundreds of them that they have rated. So don't feel like Amazon's your only resource. And I will tell you, I happen to live in a state, I'm from the US, I live in a state where it's been banned on Amazon to have an Amazon account. I don't know if you're one of the states as well, but Missouri is where I live. And because Missouri has state taxes and they tax online sales, what's happened is Amazon has boycotted Missouri. And I think there's like 5 or 6 other states that have also been boycotted. So literally, I cannot sell on Amazon anymore. I used to, but I can't any longer. Obviously, there's some ways around that. I'm not going to get onto that on this call or this hangout, but you have to keep those things in mind as well. So it's nice to know that there's a lot of places where if you do write a really great book, that you can put it out there online and be able to sell it there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. Okay, so why are you even talking to me? Well, I have published several ebooks actually, and I wanted to share some of them. These 3 are freemiums. These are giveaway books that I produce specifically for getting leads. The Freedompreneur book is one that is co-written with my friend Rhonda Swan, and so that one is out there. This one, Never Tell a Samurai to Surrender, this is my own personal story. I am a martial artist, and I share some of my trials and tribulations that I went through in order to not only be a martial artist, but to be an online entrepreneur and, to raise my family, etc. So I've got that one. And then this is a book that I produce to help people who are looking to start their own business. It's called Just Kickstart It. And it tells you how you can use crowdfunding or crowdsourcing in order to get a project or business off the ground, so that you can find funding to get started, because that's one of the biggest holdbacks for a lot of people is they don't have the money to get started. If you would like copies of any of these books, and they're all free, just send me a message on Facebook and I'll get you a link so that you can download them. Okay. All right, and then I also have a book that's coming out here in this spring, 2016, and this one will be both an ebook and a print book, and it will have a cost. It's not a freemium, and the book is called Tough Chick, A Modern Woman's Guide to Personal Safety and Self-Defense. So I had a really well professionally done cover created for this one, and we are almost done. It's in the editing process, and I will tell you, not all books are created equal. This one has definitely taken me a lot longer than a week to produce because it's very picture heavy, and it's got a lot of other things that go with it. So not all books are you going to be able to produce in a week, but today I will show you how easy you can produce a book in a week, and then later on when you want to do a bigger book or a manifesto of some kind, you can take the strategies that you're going to learn from me today and produce a much bigger book. Okay, so that's kind of the purpose of today's hangout. All right, so how do you create a good ebook? Well, number one, a book is a relative term. Okay, anything in the ebook electronic world, anything that is 10 pages or more is considered a book. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, gosh, a book, 10 pages, that's like a workbook. But it's true. You can slap a cover on it that looks like a regular book and call it a book, even though it's a very short book. In fact, I say 10 pages. That's my own personal number, but I actually have even seen ebooks that are less than 10 pages. I think I even downloaded one that was like 4 pages. So, just realize that you don't have to write this really long 100-page or more document in order to call it a book. So that should give you some relief right there. The other thing is you need to know, before you even start the process of writing a book, you need to know the purpose behind it. I mean, are you intending to sell it in the future? Or is it going to be for a freemium, something that you give away? Obviously, depending on what your purpose is, that'll determine the length of your book. It'll also determine, what exactly your topic is and what you're going to write about. If you're giving something away, typically your ebook is going to be a lot shorter. Like the 3 that I had done, they're very short books. Even my personal book, the one that I wrote about my story, is only 24 pages long, and it's picture heavy as well. So, you don't have to write this really long book if you're going to give it away. If you're planning on selling it, I do recommend that you have a minimum of 100 pages. That's kind of the rule of thumb for books that get sold, unless, of course, it's like a children's book. And if it's a children's book, then you can get away with a lot less pages. Okay. All right. So are you ready? We're going to get into step by step, day 1 through day 7, how you can literally create a book in 7 days. All right. I'm going to make it so simple for you. You're going to scratch your head and think, why did I not think of this before? All right, here we go. So day 1, this is day 1 of creating your book. So we're going to say that today is day 0. You're listening to me share this secret and this strategy with you. Tomorrow is day 1. This is what I would do if I were you, if I were going to create an ebook in 7 days. Number 1, you need to choose a topic. Really, a good topic is, who you need to know who's going to be your reader. Who's going to read this and get value from it? And I have found that the best topics are those that, and that's step 2. Oh, I got to go back. The best topic are those that actually solve a problem. So somewhere in your story, you want to solve a problem that a lot of people have. And usually that problem is something that you personally, or it should be something that you've personally overcame. and figure it out on your own. Maybe it was some big thing that happened in your life. Could have been a tragedy. It could have been starting your own business. It could have been anything. Whatever it was that was a big struggle for you, and you overcame it and found a solution or created a solution. Those are typically good topics. Okay, so here's how you kind of figure out good topics. Do what I call a brain dump. Okay, and what the brain dump is, you're going to just take out a piece of paper or a pad of paper, ideally, and just start writing down big things that have happened to you in your life and how you've overcame them. You don't even have to write much detail on how you overcame them at this point. Just kind of write a few words that'll jog your memory as to what it was. Maybe maybe you lost your job and you figured out a way to create your own business instead of going back to corporate America. So write that down. Maybe you got a divorce and became a single parent, but you figured out a way to support your family on your own. Write that down. Maybe you learned a really cool trick in order to get leads for your business online, and it's working tremendously well for you. And there's a lot of people who would like to learn how to do that. Well, write that down. That might be something that's a good topic for a book. So just go to town. I mean, set a timer, for like 20 or 30 minutes and just brainstorm. Brainstorm things that have happened to you. It could even be something that you're currently going through. It's a little harder though with that one. I will tell you, if it's something you're currently going through, you may not quite have a solution yet. But if you're working towards a solution and you know that you're going to make it out on the other side, then you can put that down. But the best book ideas are those topics of things that you've been through and you've survived and overcame. You can also write about somebody else's story, something that someone close to you has been through and overcame. That's also a possibility if you can't think of anything on your own. I will tell you though, it's usually easier to write about yourself because you have all those experiences and emotions that go with it than it is to write about somebody else, unless you can pick their brain and really get a good feeling for what emotions they were going through during that tragedy. Okay. All right. The third thing that you're going to do on day one is, after you've done this brain dump, you're going to pick a subject that has at least 1 million readers. So greater than 1 million readers. I'm going to give you a tip today on how to find that. Okay. I'm going to show you and walk you through it. So what you do, and this is how I did it, is I just did a brain dump of all the different things that I've been through, things I've overcome, things I've learned, as many of them I could think of. And then I just stepped away from it for a bit on that day, took a little walk, came back, and I looked at my list. And then I circled the top 3 to 5 things on there that I thought were the most powerful and impactful that others might want to hear more about. Okay, so then once you have that subject, then you can do some research online very quickly to see if that's going to be a good topic for you, and it'll solve. You want something, again, that's going to solve somebody's problems. So right now I'm going to show you how you can tell if your topic is going to be a good one that has greater than 1 million readers. Are you ready for this? This is super amazing. When I learned this, I was like, wow, this could really change somebody's life. So here's what it is. I know that I gave Amazon a little bit of a slap there because I live in Missouri, but they still are the #1 site for selling books. Okay, so here's what I do. You go to Amazon.com. This is how you're going to do your research and tell if there's enough people interested in your topic. You're going to go to Amazon.com, click down here, go to books. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the one like I did for my Tough Chick, A Modern Woman's Guide to Self-Defense. I'm going to type in self-defense for women. So I just type that down. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and it's going to pull up by default, anything that falls under that category of self-defense for women. So I'm going to click on the titles for the top 3 to 5 books that are here. So let's go to this one, Survive the Unthinkable, Women's Self-Protection. Let's click on this title. And then we're going to scroll down. Once you get to the page that has the book, scroll on down until you get to the product details. Okay. When you get to the product details, you're going to look and see their Amazon sellers rank. Okay. This tells you how many times this book has been downloaded. So what I like to look for is books that have a rank that's less than 200. And the reason, it's not how many's been downloaded, it's like their rank based on all the books that are in Amazon. This is their ranking. So this particular book is less than 200 in the ranking. So that tells me that it does have an audience. If this was like, 300, like it had a 300,000 ranking, then I would know that it's probably not a good topic. So let me go to another one. So this one's pretty good. Even better is if I can get one that's like at 50,000 ranking or less. So here's one, Krav Maga for women. Let's see what that one is. Okay, this one isn't getting as much. See how the ranking is a lot higher? A bigger number is bad. You want a lower number, okay? So this one's got 570,000 ranking. So I'm probably not going to rank in Krav Maga, although that's not really it. But if I come down here, let's see what this one is, self-defense for women. Some of these aren't as probably good. Okay, we're at 244. Okay. What I did originally when I did my research, I don't even think I put for women. I just put self-defense. So let's look at that one. So like here's 100 deadly skills. Let's check this one out. Oh yeah, look at this. This particular book has an Amazon seller rank of 107. That's really, really good. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one that low, actually. So, that's how you can tell if you've got a good topic or good subject. So let's see what some of the others, like here's self-defense made simple. Let's click on that one. Okay, look at this one. This one's got 54,000 ranking. So that is really good. It's under 200,000. I hope you guys are getting the idea. This is gold, because if you can find a specific topic where there is not a lot of books and all the ones that are there have a really low ranking of 200,000 or less, then you've got a great topic, okay, that people are going to want. They're going to want to read whatever it is that you produce. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. So, and there's some other ways to do research. This is just one way that's really going to help you to narrow down your topic. All right, so this is day one. All right, you ready for day two? Okay, day two. Oops, I think I got them mixed up here. I did. Day two, first thing you're going to do is take that subject matter and break it into chapters. So like, I'm just going to use mine as an example, self-defense. I broke it out into several different chapters. We have 9 chapters in the book. And so those chapters, what I talk about, and if it's not a long book, it could just be one big chapter, but you're going to break it into paragraphs. Okay. If it's a book that's like 100 pages or more, you need to break that into, to 7 chapters minimum. Okay. So what I would say to you then, in order to break your subject matter into chapters, is to write down as many different things as you can think of related to that subject, so it ties it all together. So like for self-defense, we had how we had the visual, what to look for, how do you prevent being a target. Then we had like the auditory, what to listen for. What, that's kind of what happens when somebody's attacked. Next thing after visual is auditory. Then we had what's the next step? Somebody actually grabs you, okay, or gets you alone. So then what do you do from there? Then we go into the more physical and sexual attacks that happen to some women. So we go into how to prevent that or how to get away from that, and then we go into escape. So then I just kind of wrote down the different things, and then I even put little subheads like as to specifically different techniques, such as hand grabs, chokes, things like that. I just broke it down piece by piece so that I could organize it. And I know this may take a little while, but try to simplify it as much as you can and think about how you would share this story. If you were just talking with somebody over dinner, how would you share the story? What would be the first part that you would tell your friend at dinner? What would be the second part and the third part and the fourth part? And think of it like courses at dinner. What's the salad? What would you tell them while you were getting the salad? Okay, what would you tell them while you were eating your main course? What would you tell them when you're getting dessert? Whatever. What would you tell them afterwards after you're having coffee? When you start thinking of it that way, it makes it so much easier to break it out into chapters. All right, the second part of this is to develop your avatar. Your avatar is the person you're speaking to when you write the book. The best books are those that make you feel like the writer wrote it just for you. It's like you're reading a personal letter that was written right to you. So what you want to do is, again, I like to think of it like I'm having supper with somebody and I'm telling a story verbally. I think about, okay, who would I have supper with and would be interested in hearing the story? And then I get that picture in my head. Is it a male? Is it a female? How old are they? Where are they in their life? Are they just graduating from college? Are they older and they're looking at retirement? Are they in the middle of the workforce and they have very little time? Who are you talking to? Once you know that, what I do, I even take it a step further, is I find a picture, either in a magazine or you can look online, a picture of somebody that represents that avatar. And then I print it out or cut it out of the magazine and I put it next to my desk when I'm writing things out. And by doing that, I know exactly who I'm talking to. I imagine I'm talking to that person and I use the words you and, how would you feel about this? I really try to draw them into the story just like we are sharing a conversation, right? Now, here's the big one. This is where the writing gets easy. I've had so many people tell me in the past when I've shared how I wrote my story that this one tip changed them, and that was record yourself telling your story. Rather than try to type it all out, which at least for me, tends to make me want to go back and edit it over and over and over again, and I never get very far when I do that. Instead of doing that, just get a recorder and tell your story and actually pretend. Maybe get your dinner plate ready and pretend like you're having dinner with this person and sharing your story. Or go someplace where you're more comfortable. Maybe you like being outdoors. Get a bonfire going. I don't know if any of you ever go camping or have bonfires, but I love doing that kind of stuff. And I found that there's something about fire and sitting around a fireplace or a bonfire that brings out the storyteller in all of us. So if you're having trouble telling your story, go ahead and create a bonfire, or if you have a fireplace in your home, get it going. Hopefully it's not 100 degrees summertime, but go and sit by it and look at the fire and either invite a friend over and tell them the story and record it while you're sharing it. Or if you're okay with just talking to the fire, then go ahead and have your recorder handy and share your story on that recorder. The app that I use to record my stories is a free app. It's called Mic Pro app, and I have an iPhone and I downloaded it on there. It's really good. It has very good clarity. You can also plug in like your earbuds and talk into that so that you get even better clarity when you speak. And you can pause it and break your story into sections, and it'll record all of that for you. Okay, so that's what you're going to do on day 2. I hope this is helpful. If you're getting value out of this, go ahead, comment down below. Say, yeah, Vishon, this is great. I'm getting good value. Or if you're not, let me know that too. If I'm talking too much, I'm rambling, let me know. And we'll keep going here. All right, let's go to day 3. So what do you do on day 3? So now you've got your story recorded. You had your little chapters. You got it recorded. Here's what you're going to do on day 3. Day 3, you're going to finish any recording that you may have missed. If you need to go back and listen to some of it, you can do that. But don't spend a ton of time listening to it, because I think we all are our worst critic. and you don't want to get in that critical mindset where you've got to edit everything. Now's not the time to edit. Now's the time just to get your story down. So if you need to re-record something or you forgot an important detail, then go ahead on day 3 and do that. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is think of a title for your book. And the best titles have a title as well as a subhead. Like in my books, the one that's the samurai book. In fact, I've got that. Let me flip over here. Go here. So this is my samurai book, Never Tell a Samurai to Surrender. The subtitle is Achieve Your Dreams Despite the Obstacles. So books that have a subtitle tend to do better, just because it gives a little more detail about the book and what they can expect when they read it. Okay, so think of a title, bounce a few ideas off, ask a friend what they think when you come up with a few titles, and then decide on the one that you like the best. Okay, make a decision, give yourself a time limit too. That's the thing that I found, is that if I overthink something, I never make a decision. If I just say, you know what, I'm just going to think about this and figure out a good title, I'll never make a decision. But if I give myself a deadline, I say, okay, I have to have a decision by the end of the day as to what I'm going to title this book, then I come up with it very quickly, and it comes up with the best title possible. I don't know why, but typically if you're under pressure, you come up with just the right words very quickly. All right, we're still on day 3. So now you've got your title. So at the end of the day, here's what you do. You're going to take your title and you're going to go to fiverr.com, and you're going to look for those who make book covers. And you're going to submit that title to a book cover creator and ask them to create a book cover. You may have to give them a little bit of detail about your book, and let them have creative freedom to create that book cover. You want them to create one, like if you're going to have this published for sale, let them know ahead of time, because they need to create it a certain format and a certain resolution for it to be good for print. Otherwise, if this is just going to be a digital ebook, then you can find somebody who can do it relatively quickly for not very high resolution. Usually they can do it within 24 hours if you find a good one. I will share with you who I used later on if you're interested. Just shoot me a message and I can give that to you. I don't want to give it out right this second, okay? The other thing is with Fiverr, try to remember to sort by book cover designer based on their reviews. Who's got the highest reviews. I've had some kind of disasters happen on Fiverr where I sent something out and then they never replied back. So I got smarter, and now I use the people that have the highest reviews. All right, the next thing you're going to do is still day 3. You're going to take your recording or recordings, if you have multiple versions of it, and you're going to send that to Fiverr, to a different person on Fiverr, to write your book for you. Yeah, this is what you're going to do. You're not going to sit down at your computer and write it all yourself, because that'll take too long, number 1. Number 2, you're going to be too critical. And number 3, a professional is going to write it much more clearly than you probably can, unless you are a really talented writer by trade. Okay, so this is what I did, is I submitted my recording to Fiverr. I found somebody who does, they'll translate or transcribe whatever it is that I shared. And there are people who not only will transcribe it, but will also go through and edit it and format it the way that you need it for Amazon or any of those other pod systems that I told you about. So you can get that whole thing done. Pretty slick, huh? I know the light bulbs are going off, because when I learned how to do this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can write a book in a week now. Okay, so this is good stuff. All right, so now we get to day 4. Day 4 is kind of exciting. I got these backed up again, sorry. On day 4, the first thing you're going to do is check your Fiverr account and answer any questions that the people you submitted your stuff to might have. And they always have at least one question. So you want to make sure that you get back to them right away so that they can get your work done for you as quickly as possible. And then after you've answered those questions, you're going to go and locate any supporting photos. that you might want in your book. If it's just a text-only book, then don't worry about that. Just do what you got to do. If you want to use your own photo for the cover of your book, you want to get that out to Fiverr as quickly as you can as well. So make sure you communicate and share with them exactly what you want. And I also recommend that with Fiverr, whoever's doing your book design, have them also do the spine of your book if it's just an ebook. If you're planning on also having a print copy, then you might want to have them do the back side of the cover as well. Okay? And then here's what I do on day 4. So now I've got my supporting photos. I'm ready. If you want to, you can send those supporting photos to the person that's laying out your book on Fiverr and have them put them in there for you. Otherwise, you can wait till it comes back to you. But then this is what I do. I create my own capture pages for my book release. So I want to show you one, and this is for my self-defense book, Tough Chick. It's not published yet, but I've already created a capture page for that. So let me go ahead and show that to you. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this here. So this is a capture page that I created for this book, and I noticed that this kind of stretched out. It could be because I got my screen. There we go. My screen was zoomed up. So here we go. You see that all it is, it has a cover of my book, and it says receive an alert when the book is available. And then I've promoted this on a few different sites, but the book's not even available yet. It's not even done. And I was testing this earlier with a friend. Let me delete that. But the book's not even done, but people can come in here and enter their name and email, and then they get added to my email list. So this is pretty cool because once they're added to my email list, when my book is done, I can send out an email to all those people and say, hey, guess what? My book is available now. Here's the link so that you can click and purchase my book. So I already have a captive audience that's interested in purchasing my book, and it's not even done yet. So I thought that was pretty slick. Now, if this is an ebook that you're not planning on selling, you can still do the same thing. Like, let me show you my other one that I don't sell. This one is, Never Tell a Samurai to Surrender. So for this particular book, I don't sell it or anything, but I give it away for free. So I went ahead and created this page ahead of time, even before my book was done. I didn't promote it at all initially. All I did was just lay it out, get it all set up so that I'm ready once the book is done. When I first laid it out, I didn't even have the cover back yet. So this was just blank, but I got all this other stuff laid out so that it's ready to go. And so all they have to do now is click on download now. And then this is where they can enter in their email and their name, and then they would receive the ebook. The last page of this, after they click download now, that wasn't even created at first until I got the text back. But at least you're getting ahead of the game by producing all this. If you're not sure how to do this, this is something that I work with my students on how to create their own capture pages. And I'd be happy to walk you through it in a different training. Just shoot me a message or click on the link below and you'll see where you can join my newsletter, or you can join my team and you'll get all of my resources for free because that's part of what I give to my team to help them in their entrepreneurial endeavors. All right, I will show you what the book looks like when it's done. It's going to turn out like a PDF. You want to make sure that you get whoever's designing your book, that they create it as a PDF. That's the easiest way to get ebooks out and distributed to the public. So this is the cover of the book. You've seen that. And then it's got the table of contents that they put together. And then here's all my book. You can see that it's got a lot of pictures, not a ton of text. It's only 24 pages. But it's done really well. This has been a great lead magnet for me, and it's helped people to better understand me, who I am, where I come from, so that when people want to work with me as their coach in the entrepreneurial world, we have a good resonance. They already know me at least, so it makes them a little more comfortable with working with me because they've gotten to know me through my free ebook. All right, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, so that was day 4. Hopefully you guys are all still with me and you're getting good value from this. All right, day 5 and 6. We're going to combine those 2 days because they're going to be a little bit up in the air dependent on how fast the people you hired from Fiverr.com can get things done and back to you. But let's assume they can get it back within 2 days, which is pretty common. Once they send back the book cover, you're going to review it and approve it or make any edits and get those back to the person that's designing it on Fiverr. Okay, shouldn't take you long, but just make sure you're aware of that and that you stay in contact with them so that you can get that done as quickly as possible. The second thing you're going to do is if they've already typed up your written text from your voice audios, then you're going to go through that and either review it, approve it, or you can make text edits yourself or hire an editor. If the person on Fiverr doesn't do it that you originally hired, you can look for another person on Fiverr. Again, it's usually about $5 to $10 is what it costs to hire somebody on Fiverr. So you can look for somebody that actually is an editor who can go through and edit your text, check it for spelling, grammar errors, etc. So it's done. Okay, you can even hire somebody to post all the photos in there for you so that those are all set up and formatted properly. All right, so that's day 5 and 6. Oh, the other thing you're going to do is at this point, once you've approved that book cover design, you can now start promoting your book on social media. And I always recommend to people, before your book even is published, you want to create buzz about what you're doing. Even if it's a free book, a freemium, still promote it. I have gotten so much business just from promoting my own free books. People see that and suddenly it makes you appear more professional. I mean, even though it's only a 24-page book, people will see that and they're like, wow, you know, she's a published writer. This is amazing. And so now they want to learn more. They take you more seriously because you have a book. It's an amazing thing. I don't quite get it, but it works, right? So go ahead, start promoting that on your Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and let people know that they can sign up to receive an alert when your book is released. And you can even set an arbitrary release date, you know, longer than a week out, to get people even more excited and wanting to sign up to get your book. All right, so now we are at day 7 of your 1-week book launch, right? So here's what you want to do on day 7. Well, of course, you want to review the final book, assuming that your Fiverr person got it back to you and it's looking good. So go through it, maybe have a friend also take a look at it and see if there's anything that needs to be changed or updated or edited out, okay? Then you're going to take that and upload a PDF of your book to a website. What I did, and I'll go back to the version that I had, I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually on Google Drive. Google Drive is a free resource online where you can store PDFs and you can lock down the link so that people can't find it unless they're given the link. This is important because you want to capture their email before you give them your free book. Okay? Don't just give things away unless you're getting something in return. That's kind of the point of having a freemium. Obviously, if you're selling the book, then you're not going to post it to Google Drive. You're going to upload it to one of those pods that I mentioned before. We had that list earlier that had all these different sites. So pick 1 or 2 that you really like and go out there and find out how to upload your PDF to them. All right. Now you're going to link everything up. So once you've got it uploaded, assuming it's a freemium, upload that to your Google Drive. Now you're going to go back to your capture page and you're going to link that up so that when they enter in their email, that it downloads that book for them, or it takes them to a page that, you know, has a video that talks about the book and asks them to check their email box for a copy of the book. And 4, this is my favorite part, you get to celebrate, right? You've got your book done, it's ready, you're already promoting it on social media, you're using it as a way to get leads, or you're selling it on one of those pod sites. Now's the time to celebrate, let people know that you just produced your first book, you're super excited about it, ask for reviews. That's something else I would do in your celebration. You know, tell people that if they've read your book, to send you a review. and then you can start posting those on your social media sites so that it gets people even more excited. Or ask them to share a link to your book with all their friends and family, so that you get even more traffic to your book. We already did that. Hold on, let me go one more here. Here we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you here my sample book. I think I showed it to you earlier, but we go to book.vishanborich, and let me just go back there again. So this is what I use, and I wanted to just revisit this. This is what I use as my freemium to get leads. So I promote this link, and one of the things I recommend that you do is, once you've got a capture page set up, and there's a number of tools you can use to create a capture page. Like if you're curious and you don't have any clue how to create a page like this, I have, number one, I can train you on how to do it. But secondly, I actually have a link here. You should see it on this page. It says Tools. If you click on Tools, it'll take you to a page that lists the capture page providers that I use. The two that I use are ClickFunnels, and then I also, well, actually I use three now. I also use Lead Pages, and then I have another one called Mobile Opt-in for all of my mobile users. So if you're looking for a great tool to create these opt-in pages, you might check one of those out. I know for my ClickFunnels and Lead Pages, I think you get your first month free if you use my link on my tools. And then I also have a special deal through Mobile Opt-in that I can give to you just for using that service. Again, if you have questions, reach out to me. I'm not a stranger. I'm a real person, and I'm happy to answer those and get you the information you need. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so we already talked about that you upload a PDF of the book, okay, and we linked up your capture page. Some of this I think I double did. Okay, so here we go. At the end of the presentation, you're probably in two camps, and I want to leave this open for you. So you're probably either in camp one, which means you're ready to rock this. This was just the information that you needed in order to get your book off the ground, and you know how to create a capture page. You know now the secret skills that I just shared with you, and you have an idea on the topic that you're going to write about. So if you're in that camp, go for it. I'm so proud of you. Get out there, get that book done, and when you've got it done, send me a link. I would love to see what you produced, and I would love your testimonial too. If you produce a book based on this training, reach out to me and send me a testimonial, because I would like to give you a special gift just for, number one, in celebration of your new book, but also for promoting the Down and Dirty Hangouts that I host. Okay, and then if you're not in camp one, you are probably somebody in camp two who needs help. You need help researching topics, creating your book, editing, and getting it published. Or maybe you've already produced a book in the past and it wasn't successful. You'd like somebody, a second set of eyes, to give you some tips on how you can improve that and how you can really turn that into a money-making endeavor for you and your business. So if you're in camp two, I've got really good news for you, okay? I have a secret code that I'm going to give you that's going to give you access to a private training class that I'm hosting, okay? There is a cost for my training class, but you're going to get it for very, very little because you attended this training here. So the cost of my training class is $47. Well, that's your cost. The regular cost is $250. You're going to get it for $47 just by being here on this training. So I wanted to share with you the secret code. So you're going to write this down and don't share it with anybody, because this is your secret code to get my training class for $47. Okay, and it's # or hashtag, whatever you call it these days, and it's ToughBook16. So write that down, and then here's how you're going to use this code. Okay, to start off with, I'd like to know that you actually watched this training class. So message me at facebook.com/vborich, that's me, or just look me up, Vishan Borich on Facebook. Send me a private message, include this code in it, and say that you're interested in getting help with your ebook, okay? And then I will send you a link to the ebook class, All right, so you're going to have secret access to it, and you're going to get the link to this ebook class. Everybody else, they're going to get a different link that is going to cost the full price. So this is a really special thing that I want to do for people that come to my Down and Dirty. I want to give you as much value as I possibly can. And obviously, there's a lot more that I can share on writing books, but I can't do it all on the Down and Dirty. So this will be a way for me to cover that and give you some one-on-one help with writing your first book or improving any existing books that you might have written. All right, so with that said, I'm going to flip it around. We are all done here. I hope that you got a lot of good tips today, and I hope that this helps you in your journey as an entrepreneur and a freedompreneur, as we like to call ourselves. So this is my goodbye for now. We will be back next week. I do these Down and Dirties every single Monday at 1:30 Central. If you get value and you like this, share this with your friends. They're always invited. It's free. I like to keep it free. It's my way of giving back to the online community. And you can invite them by clicking on one of the links below, or you should have received an email or seen some of my ads where the link is there for them to register. All right, so with that, have a great day, great week, and we will talk to you next Monday. Take care.